basically the first workshop is about how what to declutter. It could be mind, it could be your karmic energy, it could be the belief, it could be lifestyle and things like what are the things that we can work on. And the second workshop is more on a bit of telling us like where we can start from. It could be start from small steps, like how we can organize our life, how we can organize our events in our life, like how we set priority or this kind of things to help us to kind of organize our time.
Mm-hmm.
So the third one I haven't actually gone through yet. So it will be more on details on like further helps on how they can actually help themselves to declutter and find their purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it will be 3 sections. So but it will be 3 workshops by itself.
Right. So it's about 3 hours per workshop, yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So,
And
no, go ahead.
one.
Go ahead.
This is one workshop that I'm doing.
So that's called decluttering.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I haven't got the chance to like pack it them into like 1, 2, 3, you know, that kind of situation. So most of the time when I do workshop is based on what people needs and like what kind of information will help in the situation, things like that. Then the second one is actually manifestation, about how you can actually master your manifestation to create abundance. And it's I have summarized it into a 4 hours workshops with 5 simple steps to follow. But a lot of things actually also emphasize on self-love, because even if we want to learn how to manifest, we must know what exactly we need, what exactly that resonate with us. But a lot of time, most of the people doesn't know what exactly they want. They thought they just want the money for living, but actually the money can be resonate in you with many other way. It could be manifested in health, could be manifested in relationship, all these things.
Right.
But
Right. You're right.
but that's why one part of the 5 step is actually us telling them about the importance of self-love, where you can find whatever that really resonate with you and you work on it. Yeah, so there will be methods to teach how to manifest, but if in order for the manifestation to take effect, you actually need to know what exactly you want.
Right. Which
Yeah.
leads to what you had started, the decluttering first, right?
Yeah.
Once you
So
declutter, you free your mind of all these past patterns, past conditioning, and all these things that hampered your way towards success. Then comes the manifestation, where by then you know what you're going to amplify and attract into your life.
yeah, I mean it's all kind of linked and interconnected, but I wouldn't say that if you didn't come for decluttering, then you cannot come for manifestation. But it could be work hand in hand together.
Right.
So it really depends on like where you are comfortable to start with. Because sometimes if you tell people to declutter, they will not come and say, why should I declutter, you know? Until they really cannot take it, then they will say that, I want to do something about it. Yeah. But when you tell them, you need to manifest, then I'm interested, you know.
I've got a question. Since you brought that up, what happens if somebody pose that question to you? Like, look, Liang, I don't want to declutter, I don't want to go back there, but I like to manifest. So how would you handle such a person then?
That's why actually, although you seems that although those workshops are actually interconnected, but I would say from people who start from the basic wins, that they may not know what exactly they are into or what exactly they need. The manifestation is a way to attract them in a way.
Yeah,
To actually bringing them as like entry level. Yeah, so there are a lot of tips like how they can get instant kind of abundance, like even gratitude. Things like they can start with say thank you. And a lot of people don't do this, especially
That's very right.
Singaporean.
That's true. I think being grateful and expressing gratitude, especially saying an important word, a simple word such as thank you goes a very long way.
But the thank you have to be genuine kind,
Heartfelt, yes.
and it also extend to people that you may not like them. You know, if people might have teach you lesson in a tough way, but you still have to thank them.
That's true.
Or you can even go to things like very simple things like your water, your sun, your whatever weather or this like that, to give you protection or give you food, all these things. Is something that a lot of people doesn't really realize. So so even though they may not have started with the declutter, this will be also a good way to help them to have self-awareness that these are the things that I may not have taken care of. So then they will say, maybe I should. Later then they will know that it's not easy to self-love, it's like not easy to actually handle it by themselves. Then they probably might want to go for the deeper lesson like decluttering, knowing like how to organize your life and things like that.
So this works on a personal note, Liang. How about on a professional note? So as you know, the Academy, Intro Academy, is focused towards financial consultants, agency leaders. How can they use the decluttering, or how can they use the manifestation for their success, for their business success and growth as
well? So actually, a lot of times, like if you want to attract the right audience, so-called your right customer, right? But the thing is, some of the when you come into being like an insurance agent, you probably have different hidden agenda, which you will never know unless you actually go into a deeper level or understand what is the purpose. You know, I mean, people come in with different aspects, like maybe it's the money, maybe it's the health or whatever issues. I mean, any career is the same, but it's that ultimately you need to know why you are doing this. And only when you know why you are doing this and you are doing it happily, and you can attract the right people.
You're so right. You're so right. I like what you said earlier. Be brutally honest. Why are you here, right? And I can tell you there are a few reasons why people come into the industry, right? First thing, it's a very easy route to enter into. Like most people think, okay, my first job, I'm going to be an insurance agent or financial consultant because it's out there in your face, right? And when they get into it, I guess money is a motivation to most people, right? Almost to everyone. I think there is a balance between being rich and being successful, two different spectrums altogether, right? So one of the main reasons would be money motivated, success driven. But another very important area that I've noticed with many financial consultants and agency leaders I've met is actually a passion or a calling. You know, they feel that an experience in their life has driven them to such a situation, to the occupation. And it's usually because of an illness with a family member, right? It has been where they have witnessed at their point where their own family members have been ill or a critical situation, and where the financial consultant comes in to help. They see this as a much more of a noble profession. So there are a few reasons, but you are very right, spot on. They have to find that core purpose. Why did they get into it in the first place? So my question is, will decluttering help them to understand that position?
Definitely. Because if you have too much concern or too much thoughts, like, okay, first of all, you thought that the money is important to you. But the thing is, a lot of even businessmen or even like people who are rich, right? They are actually not look after the money returns. They are actually more on like knowing what's the money can make use for them. Like if you think that you are actually you want $1 million, okay, but your purpose of getting $1 million and the other person who getting $1 million is different. You might use it for your own luxury, because you really feel resonate and you need that. But some of them may say that I need that $1 million to open a school. The purpose is driven purpose is very different. So, but a lot of time is we see whatever people doing, we follow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you say, oh, so maybe people tell you that, oh, insurance is so easy to do, you can get a lot of money at a very short time. So you thought that, oh, okay, this is um the reason I came in.
Yeah.
But you don't really know that deep down inside you probably has more towards how about money or about abundance, about health. All these actually also start with knowing yourself, self-love.
Yes.
And you cannot like always thought that you can contribute non-stop. And until the times that you actually kind of like break down means like you probably don't feel happy after a while you have done. You probably get the money, but you just don't feel happy. It's just like you get promoted, you get very successful in your life. You don't really feel happy. It's very funny that that's the kind of signal that to tell you that actually yeah you're probably on not on the right path that you really want to. Probably the insurance, yes, but why insurance and how it can actually help you to serve your purpose.
Right.
And a lot of times I guess a lot of them, if they come in with the mindset that they just want to try or they just want to follow the trends or they just how to say, not knowing what is their direction, it's very hard for them to success. They will give up very easily.
You're spot on that. You see, the part here is always understanding the beginnings, the foundations, right? And you are so right that without them understanding the clear vision of it and being honest with themselves, that's the key part, right?
Yeah.
You know, well, I like this profession because I'm helping people, but my real intention is I want to be successful.
Yeah.
Right? And it can both work hand in hand, yes. But I guess being very brutally honest with what got them into the business and identify where they are going is very important. And you're right, decluttering and manifestation works hand in hand. And whichever comes first, I feel, will really guide someone, because everybody has different start points, right? Some people might be comfortable with saying that I want to start on a positive note before I move back to solve my issues. Some people might want to solve their issues first before moving forward. So you're right on that. So then I've got the part here. So you've spoken about decluttering and manifestation. Is there a third angle?
What do you mean third angle?
In terms of the continuity. So someone comes through your program, they've gone through decluttering and manifestation. What is the next step then?
For myself, I do have another program which is weekly self-love and self-healing program, where I actually has different topics every week to really talks about things related to body, mind, and soul. Like yesterday, we are talking about soul and soulmate. I mean, it's for them to actually understand more of their life and themselves and how they can actually help themselves. Or I even talk about art of communications. I talk about like nutrition, because you know, like rainbow food is a way of actually helping us to gain all the resource of minerals and vitamins for our metabolism, all these things. I also talk about that. I even talk about things like karmic issue. I mean, all these things that might be people might be interested, because it's like somehow you feel that your life is kind of stuck somewhere and you do not know where gone wrong. After you have tried all type of methods, it's just like you probably have some illness. And you go to TCA, go to whatever Western medicine, whatever, you just feel you can't get yourself cured of it. So there might be other reason that could be like karmic issue, which I do help people to resolve that area if they feel really stuck.
I get you. Yeah, that's interesting, because that's what we speak about, continuity as well. Once they are done, and I like the fact that you have these weekly engagements, because to be honest with you, people just need an outlet to speak. You know, when they speak to others, of course, they hear themselves in that process. You know, in our industry, in the insurance industry, we have something called role play. So before an agent or financial consultant goes out to meet his or her clients, they would have a role play with their teammates. So that way they're able to spot out and identify shortcomings in their sales pitch. So I guess what you are doing is very similar. When they connect and they speak to you about a topic, they hear themselves. And when they hear themselves, you as the listener and you as the coach will be able to spot out certain shortcomings for them. Right? Now, how do you then identify these shortcomings? And how do you relate it to? Some people might not take it very nicely, right? They might take it very offensively, or they might feel that, oh no, Liang, I'm not that way. I don't know what you're talking about. So how do you address these people who are a bit stubborn in sort of going through that change?
Okay, I mean, really, if it's people who are stubborn, you can't really like force them, like
Right.
say that, oh, you're wrong, or something like that.
Mhm.
But even people who come for like one sessions to me, or they may have continually come to my session, is that's why I actually wanted this weekly thing, is because I want them to come in like have a weekly support of
Right.
not just one off kind of workshop and they are like left at like a few months later and not
Yeah.
not practicing it. So
Right.
the weekly thing is actually helping them to have some practice for the week, that kind of things.
Mhm.
So they can actually learn something and come for the sessions, and they know that it's not like they are they are not alone, but they have probably like other people who have similar kind of situations to practice together. um it's not easy, but because that's why body, mind, and soul, right? The most difficult part is actually the mindset.
Mindset. That's right.
It took times,
Mm.
and even like people who are suffering for depression, anxiety, it takes time. It will take some time, and you really need to know that there will be times that they will realize that they need to let go. You just have to trust that they will, at the right time, they will come into term with themselves.
Right.
But we cannot say that I will give up on them, or I say that you need to do it now, or things like that. So what my approach is, I will let you know what are the approach, and I usually will end my workshop with some homework.
Yeah.
Means like things like again, I can give you something like bonus, like a healing clips, help you to regain your clarifications, but you need to do something for me first.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, it's like you need to do your affirmation daily. You need to
Affirmation.
let me know like what you can do, promise yourself to do it like one thing at a day, something like that.
Mhm.
Can you say thank you to someone like one day, like at
Yes.
least one day,
Oh,
something like that? Is
yeah.
not something like I tell them that okay, you must follow 1 to 10,
Right.
yeah, something like that.
Right.
But I will tell them that there are things that you should help yourself, and things that you should encourage yourself to do, and you know yourself best.
Yes. I'm with you on that. I'm with
Yeah, and I don't want you to promise me 10 things.
you. Mhm.
You probably just promise one thing for yourself that you can do, you can commit. That will be good enough.
I'm with you. That's so true. That's so true.
Yeah.
And just give me 1 second. I'm just going to pause this and answer this doorbell very quickly. Give me 1 second. Eh?
Okay.
Hi. Sorry, Glenn.
Yep.
Yeah. To carry this forward, what I would like to hear is, to be honest with you, at this current situation, we are back in semi-lockdown, more or less. What would your advice be, or your suggestion be, to these advisors and agency leaders? What can they share? What can they do? Be a beacon of hope? What can they do during a time like this?
You mean for them
Yeah, like
currently?
a key advice that you would share with them.
For me, it's because of the manifestations whereby we have one very simple concept, is that we shouldn't have limited mindset,
Mm.
whereby we always create our life in fear, or in the way that follow the mass of the world. It's
Mm.
like, example, like during COVID, right? Everybody rush to the supermarket. When I mean, they have fear because they thought there is limited stock or things like that. Or when you are actually feeling that you only have limited resources.
Right.
If you feel you have limited resources, that's where you create the fear and create the so-called kanjongness.
Mm.
So what I
Yeah.
mean is if you actually have times to realize what takes this time to actually realize what exactly you want to do and your desire to do and find things that actually can start with a small change from yourself. It could
Right.
be like taking up like a course that you probably have not taken before because of the busy schedule.
So true. Yeah.
You can actually take some pick up a new hobby
Mm.
maybe, or even if go to nature is the best.
Yes.
And yeah, and you feel the connection with yourself and the nature. That's where you actually feel more at ease rather than you always hear about what other people talking about the situation or things like that. I mean, if you go out to protect yourself, what I mean is,
Let's be safe.
um,
That's true.
yeah, but the thing is, go to nature area that is not so
Mm.
crowded, like a beach or this thing. You
Yeah.
will have kind of inner kind of wisdom and peace that will guide you throughout this
Oh, that is so true. So true.
situation.
Yeah,
But
that's
it,
so true.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree with
So,
you.
so don't really have to tie yourself into that kind of situation whereby you cannot handle it by yourself. Actually, it's not. You can't handle it all by yourself, but you need to come into the terms that there are actually lesson to learn during this COVID-19.
Hmm.
Is everybody plays a part, and we need to adapt to the changes. We cannot always think that we will be always the same.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Rightfully said. Rightfully said. Yeah,
yeah,
I think if I put it in a context, it's a detached involvement, right? You detach from the situation that is going on where you have pretty much very little control, but then getting involved in some activity, changing your environment up that keeps you motivated. If I would translate that in that context, and getting to nature is such an important thing. I agree. It changes your entire mindset. It changes a framework in your mind, as well as your behavior thereafter. So these thank yous actually happen when you're going out on a walk in the beach. You are much more open. You are much more free, and you have a certain uh, aura about yourself when you're in nature. So that's very true. Yes, I agree with you on that. So
yes,
what I would want to do, Liang, is thank you on that. We are going to carry on with our conversation after I stop this, but really, it's a very nice sequence you have put into play for us.